Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing the power isn't coming back. Not today, not next week, maybe not for months. No lights, no heating, no running water, no internet, and no functioning grocery stores. Everything you rely on daily is gone. This isn't a science fiction nightmare, it's a very real threat. Total blackouts can strike at any time, triggered by natural disasters, cyber attacks, or infrastructure failures. Are you ready for it? Most people aren't, and that's the harsh reality. Surviving a blackout is not about coping with minor inconveniences or camping out for a night. It's about staying alive and keeping your family safe when every modern system fails. Forget luxury, think food, water, warmth, security, and basic survival tools. Having a plan isn't just smart, it's necessary. If you're not prepared, you're vulnerable, plain and simple. This guide will arm you with the practical tips, tools, and knowledge you need to face the worst-case scenario. From powering your home with emergency energy options to fortifying your safety against rising dangers, this is your wake-up call. Survival is not guaranteed, but preparation can give you a fighting chance. Start planning now, because tomorrow could already be too late. 1. Emergency power solutions. When the lights go out, your most immediate concern might be how to power essential devices. Generators are the first line of defense, and there are 3 main types to consider. Gasoline generators are often the most affordable, but calling them flawless would be a stretch. They're portable, yes, but they come with a ton of responsibility. You'll need to store fuel safely, which isn't as easy as sticking a few jugs in your garage. Gasoline also has a short shelf life, so you'll constantly have to rotate supplies. Add regular maintenance like oil changes to the list, and your simple generator might start to feel like a part-time job. But when properly handled, it gets the job done and keeps your essentials running. Then there are propane generators. They clean up the mess gasoline generators leave behind. Propane burns cleaner, your maintenance load drops significantly, and the fuel lasts longer than gasoline. However, propane generators body slam you with higher upfront costs. They're also less portable than gasoline models, so if you plan to move it around for any reason, good luck. Still, having fewer fumes and a longer fuel shelf life makes them a solid option if you're ready to spend a little more. Solar power solutions are a favorite for people who want to go green or simply avoid dealing with flammable fuels. Portable solar panels with battery storage are a game changer in areas with plenty of sunlight. They operate silently, so you don't have to deal with the obnoxious hum of traditional generators. But keep in mind, solar panels are practically useless on cloudy days or in areas with limited sun exposure. On the other hand, compact solar power stations are ideal if you live in an apartment or have limited outdoor space. They're small, manageable, and great for charging smaller devices or running lights. Don't count on them for heavy-duty appliances, though. No matter which power solution you choose, safety is non-negotiable. Generators, especially gasoline or propane types, belong outside, at least 20 feet away from your home. Carbon monoxide doesn't care if you're ready or not. It's a silent killer. Always use them where there's proper ventilation, and invest in a carbon monoxide detector if you haven't already. Being unprepared on this front is not an option if you enjoy breathing. For shorter outages, or to keep just your most critical devices running, consider an uninterruptible power supply. UPS, they're lifesavers for medical equipment, phones, and even gaming consoles for those who somehow think Call of Duty still matters during a blackout. While a UPS doesn't provide long-term solutions, it can buy you precious time during power surges or brief outages. Every second counts when you're plugging in your essentials, so think ahead and have this equipment ready. 2. Water storage and purification. Once you've got power figured out, turn your attention to water, because no one survives long without it. A basic rule you can't ignore is stocking at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Don't forget your pets, unless leaving them thirsty is somehow part of your plan. Calculate what you need and then double it. Why? Because we've all seen how quickly a few days without utilities spirals into a week or more when infrastructure goes down. How you store water depends on your space. Large water containers are great if you have the room. For smaller spaces, tightly sealed bottles are the way to go. Just don't stockpile random plastic jugs. They degrade and contaminate your water if left too long. Proper water storage isn't optional. When the taps run dry, every drop you have counts. Even if you think you've got a stockpile to rival a camel's, purification methods are non-negotiable. You never truly know when your supply might run out or get contaminated, so having options is essential. Boiling is as old school and reliable as it gets. It's straightforward, requires zero gadgets, and kills pretty much everything that shouldn't be floating in your drink. Filtration systems are next on the list, with options ranging from gravity-fed units to portable straws. These are lifesavers in the field, or if you're forced to rely on questionable water sources. Purification tablets are another must-have. They're cheap, lightweight, and effective. Drop one into a bottle, wait a few minutes, and you've got drinkable water. For those facing prolonged outages in sunny areas, solar disinfection, SODIS, might be your best bet. Fill a clear plastic bottle with water, leave it in direct sunlight for at least 6 hours, and UV rays will take care of the bacteria. It's not an immediate fix, but it's better than sipping something lethal. The most critical tip here is obvious but often ignored. Always start with the cleanest water you can find. If what you've got looks more like mud than water, you're setting yourself up for failure. Dirty water takes more effort to purify, and in emergency, extra effort means wasted energy and time. Don't sleep on hygiene either. You might think running water and showers are luxuries you can live without, but sanitation quickly becomes a major issue during prolonged outages. Untreated waste spreads disease fast. Figure out a system for washing hands, cleaning wounds, and keeping your living area as clean as possible. Survival isn't just about staying hydrated, it's about staying healthy. 3. Food storage and off-grid cooking. You might last a while without power or water, but try going more than a few days without food and see how well that works out. Stockpiling isn't glamorous, but it's necessary if you want to avoid starvation. Canned goods are a no-brainer. Vegetables, beans, soups, fruits, and meats are easy to store, don't spoil quickly, and don't need refrigeration. Pull-tab cans make your life even easier, since you won't need to wrestle with a can opener when you're already dealing with enough stress. Beyond canned food, dried staples should dominate your pantry. Rice, pasta, lentils, and oats last forever if stored correctly. Vacuum sealing these items protects them from moisture and pests, keeping them edible for the long haul. Then there's freeze-dried food. It's lightweight, compact, and doesn't taste like cardboard, unlike most MREs. Yes, it's pricier than other options, but when you're knee-deep in a blackout situation, you'll appreciate having something that doesn't feel like a punishment to eat. Don't forget nutritional balance. You're not just eating to survive, you're eating to keep your energy and morale up. Stock up on fats like peanut butter, proteins like nuts and seeds, and even comfort foods. Throw in some chocolates or candies, because frankly, a sugar boost can do wonders for your mood when things feel bleak. Now that you've got food, it's time to figure out how to cook it when your electric stove is a useless slab of metal. Start with propane camping stoves. They're portable and efficient, but keep ventilation in mind. Cooking indoors with open flames is a risky move, so if your setup doesn't allow for outdoor use, you're asking for trouble. Wood-burning stoves are a solid option, offering a 2-in-1 deal of heat and food preparation. However, they require wood and regular maintenance, so they're not the most hassle-free solution. Solar ovens are underrated but incredibly effective in sunny climates. They use sunlight to cook without needing any fuel or flames. The trade-off? They're slow. Cooking a single meal might take hours, and if the weather isn't cooperating, you're out of luck. Rocket stoves are another fantastic choice for efficient high-heat cooking. They're lightweight, burn small twigs or scraps you can find just about anywhere, and use fuel far more efficiently than your average bonfire. You'll also need fire-starting gear, without which all these cooking methods become utterly pointless. Matches and lighters are the bare minimum. Keep them in waterproof containers because wet matches are just as useless as no matches at all. Fire starters are another excellent investment, especially if you're dealing with damp conditions or need to get a blaze going quickly. 4. Lighting solutions. Without reliable lighting, nighttime becomes an unsafe, unproductive void. You can't cook, perform repairs, or even move around safely if you can't see. Stocking the right lighting options isn't just smart, it's non-negotiable for survival. Here's how you can conquer the darkness. Flashlights. A sturdy, rechargeable LED flashlight is your first line of defense. Forget those cheap, flimsy ones with dim beams that flicker after 5 minutes of use. You need high-quality flashlights that can handle drops, weather, and long durations of use. Rechargeable batteries are a must, preferably with solar charging capabilities. Solar flashlights pull double duty by functioning as their own power source, which is a lifesaver when other options run out. Don't underestimate flashlights that offer multiple brightness settings or adjustable beams. They're not just gimmicks. Bright settings are perfect for outdoor scanning or emergency signaling, while lower settings conserve battery life indoors. Keep these flashlights accessible in key spots around your home and have extras in your car or go bag. Headlamps? Need to cook dinner or fix a leaking pipe while the power's out? Headlamps free up your hands so you can get things done. Look for adjustable LED-based headlamps that sit securely without causing discomfort. Brightness options and extended battery life are essential here too, and models compatible with rechargeable batteries are your best bet. A bonus tip? Invest in water-resistant models. Blackouts don't always happen during calm, sunny days, and you never know if this crucial piece of gear will get caught in rain or snow. Solar lanterns. When it comes to multifunctional lighting, solar lanterns are absolute champions. These are ideal for lighting up rooms or outdoor spaces for extended periods. Many of the newer efficient models also come with built-in USB charging ports. Imagine charging your phone or radio while also keeping a light source active. That's the type of gear you need in a blackout. Position solar lanterns during the day to soak up as much sunlight as possible, then bring them inside after the sun sets. Their efficiency has improved drastically over the years, and some models can last an entire night on a full charge. It's one less thing to stress about during an already challenging time. Traditional options oil lamps and candles can be fallback options, but don't ignore the risks they pose. Open flames mean fire hazards. If you go down this route, proceed carefully. Select oil lamps with stable bases and wick adjustment controls to avoid spillage or excessive smoke. For candles, stick them in hurricane lanterns or deep candle holders to reduce the risk of tipping over. A crucial safety reminder here. Always, and I mean always, have a fire extinguisher nearby if you're using anything with an open flame. Fires are not something you want to deal with during a blackout. Don't gamble with safety. 5. Home security during blackouts. Blackouts don't just plunge your home into darkness. They tear down the invisible wall of security you think you have. Security cameras, alarms, and smart locks typically run on electricity. When that's cut off, you're suddenly vulnerable to break-ins, theft, and worse. Get ahead of the problem by fortifying your home. Physical barriers. When all else fails, your physical security measures are your last line of defense. Reinforce doorways with high-quality deadbolts. These are mechanical. They don't need power, so they'll remain effective even when power is a distant memory. If possible, add security bars to doors or windows and ensure they're properly installed. Window security film is another step worth taking. It makes the glass harder to break and can prevent a simple smash-and-grab attempt from becoming a full-blown burglary. Don't leave any entry points vulnerable. Even a basement window or a forgotten side door can be an easy target. Motion sensor lights. Solar-powered motion sensor lights are your best allies for deterring anyone snooping around your property. These lights snap on instantly when they detect movement, startling intruders and giving them second thoughts. Set these up near entry points like doors, windows, or garage areas. They won't draw any power from your household grid since they charge through sunlight. Plus, they don't just protect your house, they also make moving around easier for you during the evening hours. Battery-powered alarms. If intruders aren't afraid of being lit up, a loud screeching alarm will stop them cold. Battery-powered security alarms are key here. They'll keep functioning regardless of power status. Place them around doors and windows for maximum coverage. The noise they produce is almost enough to make ears bleed. And that's exactly what you want. The sound alone will send most intruders running. Make sure your battery-powered alarms are maintained regularly. Replace the batteries periodically so they don't fail when you truly need them. Community awareness. Even the best security measures pale in comparison to collective vigilance. Build relationships with your neighbors now before a blackout strikes. A connected community can form security patrols, check in on each other, and create an environment where intruders are far less likely to take a chance. A simple way to start? Exchange phone numbers with your neighbors. Write these down, since phones may not always work. Create a plan for power outages and make it clear that everyone's got each other's backs. It's not being paranoid, it's being smart. 6. Communication during blackouts. Staying informed and keeping in touch is critical during a blackout, but once cell towers go down, your smartphone becomes a useless brick that's only good for playing offline games. You'll need reliable backup methods to receive news and communicate with others. Emergency radios. First, get yourself a battery-powered or hand-crank emergency radio. These are non-negotiable for staying updated. Government agencies and emergency broadcasters use specific frequencies to share vital information during disasters, and you'll need access to those updates. Hand crank models are especially useful since they don't rely on a limited battery supply. Just crank it up, tune in and listen. If you live in areas prone to hurricanes or earthquakes, this should already be in your emergency kit. Two-way radios. Phones and internet services might not survive a blackout, but walkie-talkies will. Long-range two-way radios are fantastic for coordinating with family members or friends in your area. Choose models with a range of up to 35 miles for maximum effectiveness. That way you can stay connected even if someone is across town fetching supplies or checking on a neighbor. Ham radios. If you need to communicate over even longer distances, ham radios are the way to go. These devices are far more reliable than you'd think. The catch? They require a license and training to operate legally in many areas. If you're serious about blackout preparedness, the investment in both time and money is more than worth it. Ham radio operators can talk to people in other states or even countries depending on the situation. It's a tool that could literally save your life if you need rescue or help coordinating resources. Satellite communicators. For those planning to weather blackouts in extreme isolation or remote locations, satellite communication devices are indispensable. Tools like the Garmin InReach Mini allow you to send text messages or SOS signals anywhere in the world. These are pricier options, but the security they provide makes them worth considering. Powering devices. Staying powered up is crucial for all these communication devices. Relying exclusively on AA or AAA batteries isn't sustainable in the long term. You'll need something more robust, like a portable solar generator or a power bank. Solar solutions are, once again, a standout choice. Smaller solar lanterns with USB ports or lightweight portable panels can be packed, deployed, and used with relative ease. Backup contact info. Finally, assume the worst. Your devices might fail altogether, either because of a lack of charge or technical failure. Write down all important phone numbers, addresses, and email logins on physical paper. These backups might seem old-fashioned, but they're exactly what you'll need to reconnect with loved ones when your cutting-edge tech lets you down. 7. Medical preparedness and sanitation. A blackout doesn't mean you stop getting sick or hurt. It means treating those problems becomes exponentially harder. And without proper sanitation, small health issues can spiral into major life-threatening conditions. Medical preparedness and sanitation are absolute essentials, and skimping here is a mistake you can't afford to make. First aid kit. It doesn't matter if you think you're clumsy or indestructible. A comprehensive first aid kit needs to be part of your plan. Cheap kits with a few band-aids and alcohol pads won't cut it. You need proper trauma supplies, the kind designed to stop heavy bleeding, close wounds, and manage burns. Look for gauze, antiseptics, Steri-strips or other wound closures, medical tape, pain relievers, tweezers, gloves, and airway aids. Think bigger than basic cuts and bruises. Have splints for fractures and tourniquets to stop arterial bleeding. If you're in a long-term blackout situation, you might even need to consider fish antibiotics. These are potentially life-saving in situations where medical help isn't coming, but don't play doctor without proper advice. Consult with a medical professional before stockpiling these. Prescription medication. If you rely on prescription meds to control chronic conditions, start stockpiling now. Aim for at least a 30-day supply, though 3 months or more is ideal. Use refill at day 25 cycles or talk to your doctor about getting extended supplies. If that's not an option, research alternatives for managing your conditions. For instance, what are the lifestyle changes or dietary tweaks you can make? It's not just about prescriptions either. Have over-the-counter meds like ibuprofen, antihistamines, anti-diarrheal tablets, and cold/flu treatments. A blackout isn't going to wait until you're feeling 100%. Sanitation. You can't afford to ignore hygiene in a long blackout. Ever seen what happens when waste disposal falls apart in survival scenarios? Disease spreads fast, and when medical care is already scarce, that's a death sentence. Your first job is figuring out how to handle waste. Portable toilets or a 5-gallon bucket lined with heavy-duty trash bags and layered with sawdust will work. You'll need a method to seal and dispose of waste without contaminating your environment. Next, stock up on sanitation essentials. Baby wipes, hand sanitizer, and biodegradable soaps should be staples. When clean water isn't flowing, you'll need to conserve what you have while still maintaining hygiene. Surface disinfectants are also incredibly useful. Wipe down doorknobs, counters, and light switches to keep illnesses at bay. Laundry isn't going away either. A manual washing system, like a plunger-style washer or a simple press, will allow you to clean essentials. Dirty clothes breed bacteria and pests you can't ignore. Pay attention to your surroundings and don't neglect sanitation just because you're tired. The work is worth it when it keeps you healthy. 8. Long-term survival strategies. Blackouts aren't always about riding it out for a few days. Sometimes they turn into weeks or longer. Without preparation, you're looking at a slow but inevitable collapse. What's your plan when the stores are empty, water is out, and people start raiding homes for supplies? Long-term survival isn't just about hoarding resources. It's about creating systems that sustain you over time. That's where strategy comes in. Gardening, store-bought emergency food kits can give you some breathing room, but they won't last forever. Growing your own food is essential for long-term survival. Start by focusing on high-yield, resilient crops like potatoes, carrots, beans, and leafy greens. These are versatile, provide decent nutrition, and tend to thrive in a range of conditions. Learn about companion planting, which involves growing plants that benefit each other. For example, planting marigolds near vegetables can repel pests, while beans fix nitrogen in the soil for other plants. Also, get educated on seed saving. This ensures you'll have crops to replant year after year without having to rely on commercial suppliers. If you think gardening is too hard or too slow, think again. Blackout survivors who can grow their own food won't just survive, they'll thrive. Protein sources. Vegetables won't give you all the nutrients you need. Protein is critical. Raising backyard chickens or rabbits is one of the most efficient ways to secure a consistent protein source. Rabbits breed quickly, produce lean meat, and require minimal space. Chickens provide both meat and eggs. Set up simple pens with adequate feed and water systems, and you're good to go. For a more advanced approach, consider aquaponics. These systems combine fish farming with hydroponics to grow plants. The fish waste fertilizes the plants, and the plants clean the water for the fish. It's a closed-loop system that's highly efficient when done right. If you don't want to or can't raise animals, learn skills like fishing, trapping, or hunting. These aren't hobbies. They're ways to ensure you don't starve when food supplies dry up. Food preservation? You can't eat everything immediately. Having ways to preserve your food will carry you through lean times. Start with dehydration for fruits and vegetables. Dehydrators are efficient when you still have power, but solar dehydrators work perfectly well in a blackout. Canning is another must-have skill. Take the time to learn water bath canning for high-acid foods like tomatoes and pressure canning for low-acid foods like meat and beans. Fermenting is an often overlooked method, but it's great for storing vegetables while adding nutrients and probiotics. Preserving food is about turning today's harvest into tomorrow's meal. Don't wait to learn it, practice now. Rainwater collection. If water stops flowing from your taps, you'll need an alternative. Rainwater collection systems will keep you from dehydrating. Set up rain barrels under gutter systems to collect runoff. Just remember, this isn't ready-to-drink water. Filter and purify it first using a combination of water filters, boiling, or chemical purification tablets. A blackout doesn't care how far you live from the nearest store. Either you figure out a way to make water accessible, or you die. It's that simple. Mental resilience. Survival isn't just physical. Long blackouts mess with your mind. The loss of routine, isolation, and heightened stress can make even strong people crack. Building your mental resilience ahead of time is just as crucial as having a stocked pantry. Establish routines despite the chaos. Eat meals at the same time every day. Dedicate blocks of time to specific tasks like tending the garden, maintaining your gear, or relaxing with a book. Mental structure keeps you from spiraling into despair. Entertainment matters too. Stock games, books, art supplies, or instruments to keep morale up. When all feels lost, even a small hobby can anchor you to normalcy. Self-defense. A blackout strips away societal norms. Desperate people do desperate things. Having a home defense plan is non-negotiable. Firearms are an effective option, but they require training and responsibility. If you're not comfortable with guns, consider other self-defense tools like pepper spray, stun guns, or even baseball bats. The key is to know how to use your tools effectively. Practice situational awareness. Don't advertise your supplies by boasting or unnecessarily flashing items outdoors. Being prepared isn't about showing off. It's about survival. The less attention you draw, the safer you'll be. Wrap up. If you've read this far, you're already ahead of most people who prefer to bury their heads in the sand. Blackouts demand preparation, and ignoring medical needs, sanitation, or long-term survival is a losing strategy. Get your first aid kit in order. Learn basic skills like gardening and food preservation. Secure your home. Build up reserves of not just supplies but knowledge and resilience. Because when the lights go out for weeks or months, there's no second chance. Be ready. Or don't. And live barely to regret it.